Hi, and welcome to Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I'll be doing a collective read today. Now, if you've been here before, you'll know that I've been putting in chapter markers on the timeline as well as in the description box below, along with any decks that I might have used, references that I've made. Likely it's a song or a video game because that's how I roll. If you are new, thank you so much for taking a chance on this teeny tiny little tarot channel. I don't have a huge library of videos, but I'm working on it and I love reading, so all likes, shares, and subscribes are very, very much appreciated because it helps more people find my little stories. And if you're new to my channel and you're new to tarot, well, I have a little tarot intro. It's nothing too intense, but it is still food for thought. So I'll put a chapter marker here. So if you want to hear it, you can. If not, you can move right on to the pre-shuffle or the reading proper. Okay. Tarot and oracles are tools for self-reflection. They're only meant to help guide us when we're making decisions using our own inner moral compass in pursuit of our own particular brand of happiness. I'm an intuitive reader, so I know tarot and I'll read the oracles, but sometimes when there's only so many cards in a deck, my ancestors, my guides, the energy that I work with when a card comes out may affix a different meaning to the card that was pulled just because it's the closest approximation to the message they're trying to relay. It's up to me to try to interpret it for y'all, and it's up to you to decide whether or not it resonates. And when I say resonates, I mean a very specific feeling. It doesn't mean watching the video and saying, hey, that doesn't really sound like me, or I would never do that, they would never do that, that has never happened. Then that means it's probably not for you. And that's okay, because it's a collective reading. There's a lot of different energy out there that me and other tarot readers are tapping into at any given time. Resonating feels like and looks like when you hear what I'm saying, it automatically makes you think of a person, place, thing, event, memory. Automatically, no downtime. It just bang right there. It like plucks a heartstring. It makes you feel like, oh my God, I went through that last year, or I'm going through that now, or this is something I've been thinking about nonstop for the last couple of XYZ amount of time. I've not told anybody about it, but here it is in a reading. That's what resonating looks like. Also, just to be clear, whenever something comes up in a reading, I'm not telling you how you should feel. I'm not telling you how you will feel. I'm confirming, for those that it makes like sense to and it resonates with, I'm confirming how you are feeling during this reading. It happens that I see it on other tarot channels where people get really head up and triggered by it. And the thing is, I don't understand why, because when you click on a YouTube tarot or oracle, it's obviously a collective. It's not a one-on-one reading. So there's lots of different energies that are weaving throughout the message. Sometimes in one reading, several different stories for several different collectives are coming through. So when someone gets really head up and they're like, well, that would never happen, or you don't know what you're talking about because I would never. Unfortunately, like that says more about the viewer than it does about the reader's style, and it kind of tattles on them because everyone else in the comment knows that they're triggered by something, that there's something in their inner world, their shadow, their private self that they've not yet unpacked, and something in the reading plucked the heartstring that they weren't ready to have plucked. So I encourage those people just to focus inward and deal with your shadow and your inner world. It's not easy. No, it's not easy. I know it's hard, but it's always beneficial and it's freeing. But most importantly, you're the maestro of your own destiny. You write what is going to happen in your life. I believe in fate and destiny. I do, but I believe that they only take you so far. It presents you the opportunity, the path, the portal, the doorway, whatever you want to call it, the timeline. Anytime you make a decision, you are moving your destiny along in a way that you are shaping yourself. It's not just that the universe happens to you. You are playing an active role in what you write. It's like, for instance, it's like a tag team kind of thing. The universe offers you pens and paper and a desk to write at. And it can change the paper, it can change the ink, it can change the desk that you're at based on what you want. But you have to decide how you're going to write your story, whether or not you continue to be the main character in your story. Or it's like a stage play where the universe is providing all these different scenarios, but you choose which ones you want to walk, what paths you want to live, experience, that sort of thing. you're co-writing your story. So don't ever give your power up just to a tarot reading or an oracle reading or a channel. These are guides, should you choose to use them. And I'm reading the energy as it stands right now. It's liable to change on the thing that I just said. If you change your path or you make a decision, the reading could change energetically. Point being, you're the maestro of your own destiny. You have full autonomy and free will. What story do you want to write? Okay, so let's get into the pre-shuffle. I'm going to shuffle these, cut, and read from the middle and the bottom to kind of get an idea of where the collective is at currently coming into the read. And then we'll pick some. Okay, well, we have a volunteer. So we have outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Okay. Right away, this makes me think of somebody who has self-limiting thoughts, someone who maybe feels like they're not ready for a certain upgrade in their life. Maybe they're not ready to take that promotion. Maybe they don't know if they really are ready to make that move to a different living situation, whether or not they live with family, with siblings, or in a relationship. If it's on the table that they might go their separate ways. But the outdating thinking part, more specifically, is like I'm feeling this energy of someone who is letting, hold on, let me make sure I'm getting this channel right. This feels like someone who is letting how they once thought about themselves, how they once led their life, as still a current assessment of how they are today. But what I want to say to that energy is they haven't really realized how much they've grown. Yes, there may be things that they need to still pay attention to kind of fine tune, to heal. But who they were back when is not who they are now. There's some sort of growing, but this kind of outdated thinking is making them feel that it's making them ignore or not truly understand how much that they've changed, how much they've grown. And now we move on to the replaying events in their head. So they're, okay, I see, okay. Let me put these down. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, I didn't mean to sneeze in the middle of the reading. So there's replaying events over in their head. Okay, so hang on with me because I'm getting a very strong channel. This is about somebody who either made a decision in the past, said something in the past, professed something in the past, stood in their power in the past and said something, and that from their vantage point today, they're looking back at what they said, and I can see someone having their hands on their face and being like, ugh, why did I say that? That sort of thing. And based on who that was back then, like maybe you have maybe you have a smart mouth. Maybe you clap back really fast when someone says something that maybe hurts your feelings or makes you defensive or makes you reactive. It's okay. It's human. Well, it's not okay in the sense that, just like I said in the tarot intro, when you automatically react like that, when you clap back really fast, it's usually stemming from a place deep inside that you haven't yet addressed. Like maybe you feel a certain level of shame or guilt. When I say it's okay, it means it's okay to understand that you were operating out of shame, guilt, fear, low self-worth. But what you can do is change that behavior. We are not set in stone. We are not static. We are human beings. We grow, we change, we evolve. That is our nature. And so that's why I feel like whatever happened in the past, whether it was something said or done out of anger, something said or done out of fear, something said or done because you all felt like you weren't ready, you didn't deserve it, whatever it is, present energy now is looking back at old energy and being like, ugh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? There's something about the energy right now. And this could have happened. This could have been happening throughout your lived experience. I'm just tapping into this energy right now. So this might be something that happens cyclically for this current energy. But right now, especially, you know, during 2025, when there's so much change, so many things astrologically happening that are like pushing and pulling energies and changing dynamics and forcing old structures and ways of being to close out, closing the cycles to be born into something new. It's almost as if, because the energy of 2025 has been somewhat tumultuous and forcing change, forcing everybody in different aspects of their lives to look at their lives and be like, what needs to change? How can I vocalize my wants, needs, and desires on a personal level and on the world stage? Okay. And show that my voice is real and valid and my feelings are real and valid. There's something about this person. Sorry, there is a lot coming through with this energy for this cassette tape. This energy is looking back at their lives and being like, I could have said something different. I could have acted different. I could have taken a chance, and yet I didn't. I see their head in their hands being like, why did I say, act that way? And they still think that they're stuck in whatever frame of mind they were in when they made the decision, said whatever they said, that they're chastising themselves about. But they're not. You all are not. It's just because you keep circle thinking on what was done in the past that you can't see the growth that you've done currently. Okay, sorry, that was a lot. That felt really, not necessarily heavy, but it almost feels like, and take it as it resonates, collective, it almost feels like you all have been keeping this inside for a really long time. And something about, I just heard Mercury retrograde. So there might have been something that you all wanted to say during Mercury retrograde, whether it was you or whether it was your person, that you really needed to kind of like clear the board, clear the air, get it off your chest kind of thing. Like you really, really wanted to say it, but it just didn't quite happen the way that you thought it was going to happen, or that it didn't happen at all. And so now there's just kind of this highly focused energy on looking back at past decisions, behaviors, conversations, regretting what happened then, and thinking that you or they are still in the same energy, which they are not. And if you or your person was in the same energy up until 2024, I guarantee you 2025, with all these astrological things popping off and forcing energy to change and to end old, it's like the changing of the guards. There's energetic change that's not being asked, it's being demanded of us. Something needs to be changed. And this person, whether it's you or your person, is feeling it. Like, let's just say, maybe you hadn't made any change. I don't think that's true, though. Maybe you hadn't made any progress or change in 2024, but I promise you on God that this year, that there is change happening, whether you perceive it or not. Maybe it's incremental, but I feel like the collective one day is going to wake up and be like, I think so much differently. I can now recognize how much my viewpoints on life and myself have changed. That may be for some, but I do think that in general, whoever's tapping into this energy has been changing since the point of decision that they regret, since the point of action or conversation that they head in hands, why did I do that kind of thing. There has been change throughout. It may have been little baby steps at a time, but change has been happening. They just haven't realized it, or you haven't yet realized it. Wait, why am I leaving this? Okay, because this is the pre-shuffle. I don't pull cards for pre-shuffles. But I'm being told, just leave that there. I went to grab it and I heard, no, okay. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep going on the pre-shuffle. Okay, so we're going to cut the deck and look at what we have. We have coffee cup and ascending. So coffee cup is meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted in friendship. Okay, so building connection. Ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expanding, new phase, preparing for union. Remember how I said whatever energy that you all have been circle thinking on, or your person has been circle thinking on and thinking that they haven't made a change, there is this, sorry, I'm gonna, I thought I was going to sneeze again. This energy is telling me that whoever's feeling like that is wanting a chance to kind of reestablish a connection. I don't feel like they want immediately some sort of romantic thing, because we don't have any indicator that it is romantic. But there is something about why a coffee cup makes me feel like friends meeting at a coffee shop and just kind of like shooting the breeze kind of thing. They want this energy again. They want a certain ease, a certain ease and conversation flowing between them and the person they're thinking about, or you and your person. Ascending is, again, when I was saying the energy I'm tapping into, I'm just going to keep saying the energy because I don't know if it's you or your person. I might switch between first person and third person. Just take it as it resonates. They don't feel like they have ascended. This energy doesn't feel like they have ascended, or that they've made gains, or that they've made progress. But I promise you, they have. It has been making progress incrementally. And let me tell you, again, if this energy hadn't changed at all for whatever reason all the way through 2024, I'm telling you right now, 2025 is the time for change. I've been saying this since last year, that 2025 was going to be super dynamic, requiring change, requiring how we view the world, and taking care of our personal world as well as our external world. This is telling me that's confirmation. They have been ascending. They have been changing. You have been ascending. You have been changing. Even if you don't recognize it on its face, it has happened. Because at some point, this is why I really kind of encourage people to keep journals. I know some people feel, at least the people I've talked to, feel a little silly keeping what they consider a diary, which even if they do call it a diary, what's wrong with that? I believe in journaling how you're feeling, especially when you're having deep emotional moments. Not only is it cathartic and it's healing to get your feelings out on paper, especially if you don't feel comfortable being that vulnerable to someone around you, because then you can look back at moments where your strength and your inner moral compass and your all that has been tested, and you can look back and be like, wow, I would react so much differently now. That's how you know that you've been changing. It's hard to know whether or not you're learning, the lessons that you want to learn, or that you're hoping you'll learn, or healing in the way that you want to heal. It's hard to see it when it's incremental day by day. But if you journal, if you write it down, you could look 6 months from now and be like, wow, I feel different than that person who wrote that. That's how you know. Okay. Okay. Cut the deck. Nope, I'm hearing shuffle it some more. Okay. All right, we'll do that. We have another volunteer. Soulmates. Soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. This is why Spirit was telling me to leave this out. It knew what it was doing. It knew it was waiting to pull this card. And this is why this energy keeps circle thinking about whatever decision that they made, whatever conversation they had, however they acted in the past. This is the reason why they're circle thinking it. Because back when they reacted in the way that they still think they're in the energy of how they were back then, but they are not. You are not. You have incrementally grown. You have incrementally learned. You have incrementally healed. And maybe you didn't notice it over time, but it has happened. That's not to say that you're in peak condition and you're 100% settled. Every day is progress. We are human beings. We're not perfect. But that's not what life requires. Life doesn't require perfection. Happiness doesn't require perfection. It requires effort and listening to your heart and listening to your wants, needs, and desires, and being mindful and being respectful of other people's wants, needs, and desires, and their boundaries, and your own boundaries. I can go on, but this is why this outdated thinking and replaying events in their head is someone, you or your person, thinks that they're still in the energy or still in the mindset, or they haven't healed from who they were back in the day. They keep replaying event over. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? How did it end up this way? Because whatever situation it is. It involves someone that maybe back then you didn't know, but now you understand. Maybe back then you didn't know. You couldn't see the forest through the trees. But now, after some time and some experience under your belt, maybe you're a couple of years older, now you understand. The whole reason why this is circling in your mind is because this energy, you recognize it for what it is. And I say what it is because I don't think that it's past. I think this person, that's why they're circle thinking. They think that it's past. That maybe that's why they're chastising. That's why you're chastising yourself so much. You feel like you lost the chance on a soulmate. And let me be clear. The soulmate doesn't have to be romantic. Soulmates could be like that, a really close friendship, a partnership, someone that understood you. But oftentimes, soulmates do mean romance. Okay, so let's go ahead and get... Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we have engagement ring. Okay, this is something that Spirit has been telling me to do. I have not been doing it before, but I've been looking at the bottom of the deck. I've not really done that in my reads, but lately my guides have been like, look at the bottom of the deck. Look at the bottom of the deck, which I'm starting to understand is like behind the scenes energy, something that, maybe is not yet bubbled up to the surface, but is like on the precipice of. So engagement ring, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, complete union. Oh my God, this is what this person is stressing about. They are on, okay, I'm sorry, but they're on their own ass about what happened in the past, whether what they said, what they did, what they passed on, what they misunderstood. They didn't see that this soulmate energy for what it was at the time, but now after, several months or years maybe, they understand what the energy was, and they are just like chastising themselves over it, because now they understand that's the kind of energy that they want to build with. That's the kind of energy that they want in their lives long term. That's the kind of energy that they realized that they wanted back then, but perhaps they were too young. Maybe they weren't in the right situation in life. Like maybe they were in school, maybe they were across country, maybe they didn't feel ready. And right now, because of the outdated thinking, I feel like this energy still doesn't feel ready, because they feel like this energy is owed more. But again, let me remind you, happiness doesn't require perfection. What it does require is effort. It does require being genuine. It does require a certain amount of bravery in being vulnerable. That's what it does require. It feels like that person, and it doesn't mean that you're going to get married to this person thinking about marriage, but it does mean about commitment. It does mean about joining lives together. Man, this is real already. I'm technically still in the pre-shuffle. I'm not even, here's the thing. I was going to say, let's be the pre-shuffle, but I may just chapter mark this as the beginning of the reading, because this is too much to pass on. Like, I put the pre-shuffle in there because sometimes there is a single message just in the pre-shuffle that is on its own. Again, because the pre-shuffle represents how the collective is feeling at the time they're moving into the reading. So sometimes it's a standalone reading on its own. Sometimes people can hear it and be like, thanks, Angel, that's all I needed to hear was the pre-shuffle. And then they just go on their way. And then, the reading proper isn't something that resonates with them. But this feels like too much to be left to the pre-shuffle. So I might make it so that the pre-shuffle and the reading are either together, or I'll call this like a in-depth I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but it just feels like there's too much here to just say that this isn't related to the reading proper, because I'm gonna tell you right now, this feels like it's going to relate to the reading. Okay. Do I want to take this? I just heard, just give it a look. Okay, so abundance, paradise, sunglasses, which is looking, watching, stalking, gaslighting, like, let's not look at all of that. I'm watching and looking, focusing. The chaser. Okay. Don't. I don't want to make all of my readings about twin flames, but like, what can I do when I see abundance and paradise, and then I see chaser and then sunglasses? Because the chaser generally is one side of this journey, and this side where they're observing from afar, but in silence, that is the other side of the energy. Like, let's be real. I, again, I guess I am just a love reader because that's all that seems to want to come through. Occasionally I do other things that come through, but like spirits got my number. They know I'm a squishy, sentimental person, that I love love. So okay, we're gonna split the deck and look at what we got. Okay. Oh boy, stabbed in the back and separation. Heartbreak, pain, separation. Separation and separation. Separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you. They regretted whatever they did in the past. You regretted whatever you did in the past. And you are circle thinking on that energy right now, like I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I have hands in my head. I'm like, why did I do that? Because back then I was acting out of guilt and shame and or pride or ego, or maybe it just wasn't right. We were too young. We lived too far. Like whatever it is, this energy allowed something to get in between their connection with what they didn't realize at the time, but what they deeply understand now. Hiccup, that means I'm channeling. What they deeply understand now is a soulmate energy. We got all of those cards that just happened to come out that made me think of twin flames. Now we have two cards about separation. One is about pain. This is about pain, and then separation. And again, with this stabbed in the back is that's a strong metaphor. But it makes me feel that, man, whatever was in this connection, like it isn't just that someone didn't take a chance on somebody, or let me just say happiness, because I don't know what it is particularly. I'm a love reader, so it feels heavy on love, but it could be lost opportunities of just happiness, right? So just take it as it resonates. Let it fit in the way that it does fit, and let it pluck on the heartstrings as it will. It's not just that someone in the collective is feeling some type of way about a decision that they made in the past that I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And it's not just passing on the possibility of happiness or growth or healing or whatever it is. It isn't just that. But it's like back in the day, whenever this was, you all had a connection. You all had something special. And then that's when this, why did I do this, say this, act this way, pass on whatever it is. That's when it happened. It wasn't like y'all met and then, or this, you in this situation or this opportunity met for the first time, and then you were like, oh no, thank you, I'm not ready, I'm too scared, I'm too worried that I'm not ready, I'm too young, I'm, trying to get my education right, I'm trying to get my money right, and all that kind of stuff. It isn't just on initial meeting. This is initial meeting. There was some sort of engagement. There was some sort of, I don't want to say loyalty, but there was some sort of connection here, so that when the connection got stronger, again, I'm being brought back to the short stack of cards that showed the chaser energy, the paradise, the abundance, and then the what I call the other half of that, which would be the runner, which is looking from afar but not wanting to engage. There is that twin flame aspect where the closer that you all got energetically or emotionally, maybe y'all did get physical and express y'all's admiration and love and attraction in a physical sense, and it was that vulnerable. Like it was after being connected that then the decision, the conversation, the passing on, the opportunity happened. That's why stabbed in the back came in, because it isn't just pain of separation, it's almost a betrayal of trust. I'm hearing, I opened my heart to you. Oh, I mean, this is not to be funny, but I in the follow-up, I heard, I opened my heart to you, and you did the Mexican hat dance on it. I mean, I'm hearing that maybe because I'm an indigenous person, and so I got family all in, Central America and Mexico and all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's why it came through. Maybe that's my family using that as like a way to be like really they really hurt somebody, and now this energy is in separation. Maybe that's what I'm feeling real heavy in my chest right now. Like I'm like this. I'm trying to hold it together because I'm starting to get emotional. And let me tell you, when I'm saying this stuff, I'm not telling you how, again, I said this in the pre-shuffle. I mean, in the intro. I'm not telling you how you should feel. I'm not telling you how you will feel. This would be confirmation of how you do feel. Okay? Let me just hold on. I need to stabilize my own self. Hold on. Okay. Technically, that was the pre-shuffle. Okay. I think I'm going to keep it as a pre-shuffle, but I'm going to call it a really in-depth pre-shuffle. And then I will start the reading proper. Maybe that's how I'll do it. But, so from this reading proper, I'm going to go ahead and start this reading proper. But understand, if you popped in to just the reading, understand the reason why there's 2 cards here is because the pre-shuffle was very heavy and very full of energy. So if you were at all intrigued, you might want to go back to the pre-shuffle if you've come straight to the reading. But if not, we got cassette. We've got somebody who's thinking that they're still the version of who they were back then, but they're not. They have healed. They're circle thinking on a past snafu that separated them from what they didn't know at the time, but now definitely understand was a special connection. Okay, that's putting it light. Again, if you want to know what that is, you want to go back to the pre-shuffle, but we're going to continue forward. Okay, so let's just get 2 more cards to continue this energy. Spirits, ancestors, can you help clarify the situation? Bring more light to it. So that we have date, meeting someone, dating, getting back out there, plan, set a date. Oh, meeting someone new. Okay, so with this card, this makes me feel like, since there's this circle thinking, replaying events in your head, or they're replaying events in their head about something they didn't realize at the time, but definitely understand now is something that is meant to be for them, that they definitely feel it. Part of that circle thinking I'm hearing is that they're worried that the person that they now understand was this special, like, divine connection is maybe out there dating. Oh my God. Again, I said in the pre-shuffle that I haven't really looked at the bottom of the deck as a consideration, but now lately my guides have been like, look at the bottom of the deck. This is energy that's like happening behind the scenes. This is intention. This is desire. These are inner thoughts of the collective. So we have wedding rings. The last one was engagement ring. The one in the pre-shuffle was engagement ring, and now we're here to wedding rings. This energy understands that this energy that they are regretting that they should have not passed on, that this is someone that they could see the incremental progression of, like, moving up to the higher levels of commitment with them, like going from dating to becoming monogamous, becoming exclusive, moving in together, engagement ring, wedding rings. This is showing me that this energy that is worried about how they operated in the past, and they're circle thinking on their behavior and thinking that they haven't changed, but they want to connect with this energy. They want to get together. They want to take them out on a date. They want to start slow, like maybe just meet for coffee, reestablish that connection to show, because again, you could say all you want, actions. I heard one person say this on like a meme or something, and they said, I'm in my deaf era, meaning I can't hear what you're saying, quote unquote, show me. You can't just say that you want to be with me, that you love me, that I mean the world. Show me. That's like, so it's like that they want to show this person by building from coffee cup, which is getting to know each other, building energy of friendship, trust, vulnerability, moving to a dating stage, maybe eventually moving to engagement and wedding rings. This is where the energy is at. Take it as it resonates. If it's not plucking that heartstring, it's not your reading, but this is what it is for today. This is what it's turning into. Okay, so we got, hold on. We got those two. I will take those. Let me just put my cards all together. So the first one we have is boat. Receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure. Maybe it meant to say closing issues, but closure issues. Oh, no, closure issues. Like there's a hard time closing out issues. Okay, but what I'm seeing with this boat is receiving what you need and progression. Receiving what you need and progression. That is, this person, whoever this is that's kind of circle thinking, needs to understand, needs to see that the progression. My goodness. Hold on. I'm also going to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry, I had to edit out my sneeze. This person needs to see the progress that they've made. I feel that's part of the reason why this energy is feeling held back, which is with this outdated thinking. They really feel like they haven't changed, but they have. It's incremental over time. There's not going to be a huge change like overnight that you would notice, but this is something I don't feel like this has been like just a recent thing. This feels like it's been in place for a minute. Okay, let's see what this is. Heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation. There's three cards that have told us that this energy is feeling, just deeply feeling the separation from their soulmate. They are heartbroken of it, feeling loss, grieving, and mourning. They need to understand that they have made progress. This is making me sad. This person really feels like they don't have what it takes, that they don't feel like, that they've grown enough, but they have. They absolutely recognize who this is. You or your person, you absolutely recognize who this soulmate is. You recognize the abundance. You recognize the happiness that you would have. Wanting to establish friendship, wanting to get together and date, wanting to show up, really show up in a real way so that the relationship could progress to, being exclusive, being serious, moving in together, possibly engagement and wedding. Now, it doesn't have to be those things because people have different structures and ways of living their lives. But what I mean is higher levels of commitment. So they really need to see how they've grown, but they're so stuck in the fact that they realize that the distance between them and their soulmate, the person that they deeply want to be with, there is quite a chasm between the two. But somebody's got to step forward. And I get the inkling that this person that they've connected with isn't a hard-hearted person. I'm getting they're not hard-hearted. There was chaser energy in here. So this person was coming after them, wanting to try to fix it. And in the past, they were just having a hard time accepting it, and they kept passing. Like, I don't know. Take that as it resonates. But it feels like this person, if we're talking twin flames, this is the runner, this is the chaser. Only now that the runner realizes who the chaser is to them, realizing they are their soulmate, their destined, their divine counterpart. But the separation has already taken place. And I do feel like the separation is a lot of time in between. We're talking months, maybe even years. I don't feel like the soulmate or the energy that this is pining after, I don't believe they're hard-hearted. I don't. Okay, I don't like... We are 40 minutes in and I haven't pulled a damn card. I mean, I did here, but I mean like a tarot card. Look, this is going to be a long read. That's just the way it is. Okay, I'm being told to grab, if you can believe it, another set of oracles before I grab tarot. Wow, I'm sorry. This is deep. This is real. I feel like I'm tapping into divine solar energy, which also is the energy of like what they call divine masculine. Now, if you don't like the terms divine masculine or divine feminine, I can use, and I do end up using in my readings at times, divine solar and divine lunar, because solar energy is about action, lunar energy is like intuition. One is like willing to step forward and do the damn thing, and the other one is trusting your inner voice, trusting your gut. Like when you are going to work and you're like, I'm not going to take that way, that I'm just getting this feeling that I should go a different way, and then you go and it's saving you 30 minutes because there was a car accident, or you decide to pass on a job because you're like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right, I'm going to take this other job, and the original one that you would have got folded in 4 months. So that's intuition. So someone, well, put yourself in the position where it is, but this energy feels like divine solar energy that is having a hard time stepping forward, taking the action, stepping in their power and being like, okay, I'm going to step forward. I'm going to step forward because this person, whoever this is, you or someone you're connected with, kept disengaging or distancing yourself, not because you didn't feel it, but because of ego, fear, shame. You felt not ready. You felt unworthy. And this person kept chasing, and it was like this, and now this person, it feels like they stopped. It feels like this person's focusing on themselves. And now this is what's triggered this circle thinking about, what do I do now? What do I do now? So, what? Just hold on. Hold on. I was trying to shuffle, and then I almost lost my entire deck on the floor. Okay. What is the deal? I'm sorry. It's just every time I'm shuffling, this like chunks of cards like this will fall. And this is making me feel that the divine solar has a hell of a lot of thoughts and feelings and things they want to divulge. Remember when I was saying earlier in the reading that it felt like during Mercury retrograde, there was something that needed to be said, that needed to be addressed, that needed to be shown light on, and they just couldn't bring themselves to do it. I mean, I feel like it's trying to come through these cards right now. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's see. We have confession. Someone has something to tell you. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing it in the cards that's coming out when I'm channeling forward. How much of this deck wants to fall out of my hands? There is something that this this person is brimming to tell their person. This energy is brimming to tell their person everything. And I'm hearing not skimping on the details. I'm hearing this isn't an excuse. This is perspective. This is what's gone on. This is how I felt. This is how I handled it. This is what I've done since then. This is that kind of... Okay, let's just keep going. Man, being stubborn. Now all of a sudden, this energy is being tight-lipped. Intuition. The red flags you ignore now will come back to bite later. Interesting. Let me just say, this feels so much like divine solar energy. There is something that they are trying to say on their lips. Literally, they are just bubbling to say it. Intuitively, they know what they need to do. They know their own, they know their strengths, but they also know they're very aware of where they need work. And if they don't say something now, it's going to bite them later. The separation that has been in existence is not because this person hasn't tried, because they have tried. They just have stopped chasing because they're focusing on themselves. They're trying to heal themselves. And divine solar energy is like, I need to say something. I got to trust my gut. I got to trust that this person will hear what I got to say and not be unnecessarily harsh. They're not a hard-hearted person. If I don't do this, this is going to bite me in my ass later. I got to trust my inner strength. Yes. Then we got someone else. Someone is in the middle. Someone is trying to sabotage this. Well, let me just be clear. I don't think, okay, this is very specific. Nobody's trying to sabotage this. What will ruin this is this person, and I don't mean to make them a villain, but this person who's like betraying their own selves. They know what they want. They know where it's at. They know they just need to say something. They're worried that their person right here, they're worried that their person is going to find someone else. This person has mad love for this energy. But they're done chasing. They can't do it. I'm hearing they're focusing on self. They're realizing they have to garner peace for themselves. It's not that they're trying to date other people, although they are free to do that. Absolutely, they're free to do that. The only one who's sabotaging this, and I'm sorry to be so hard, is the solar energy who refuses to take action on what they know would lead to their happiness. Now, I understand it's not as easy as just say it. Just say it, because of the fact that a lot of people, especially in my age range, like we grew up with a lot of childhood trauma and wounds, because a lot of us were latchkey kids. A lot of us were operating with family units that only had one parent or one present parent, emotionally present parent. You know what I mean? So we have a lot of childhood wounds that manifest in different ways. And so, yes, it isn't always as easy as just say something, that it takes some deep inner strength to work through past trauma and wounds to get yourself in a place where you are advocating for yourself, solar, advocating for your own happiness, and not letting the egoic part of you, the part that like is fashioned by society and media and expectations of family and friends and all this stuff that makes, tells you this is what you need to be a functional adult. Like, throw that all by the wayside. What is it that you need to do for yourself to get your mind right, to get the healing that you need to pursue and advocate for yourself in regards to your happiness? The only person that's going to fumble this right now is the only chance that you would fumble this is if you don't do what you need for yourself, which is heal and be honest. That doesn't mean perfection. Let me say that again. Happiness doesn't require perfection. This relationship does not require perfection, but what it does require is effort and vulnerability. That's what it needs. Again, another card. Move on. Someone is unavailable. A waste of time. It's over. Like this. And both of these are under this date card, which I feel like it was, what's that word? Double entendre. Like, this represents what solar energy wants to do with lunar energy. They want to get together. They want to have that coffee date. They want to build, vulnerability. It's like, I feel like the solar energy has a lot of fantasy, a lot of daydreaming. But they're like, it's like they got cement shoes. Like, they're trying to move forward, but they can't. Doesn't matter who it is. If this energy resonates with you, if you find it really hard emotionally to get close to people because you're afraid of like being vulnerable, and you have someone out there who wants to be with you, but the idea of attaining this relationship and attaining this happiness is both exciting and terrifying. So with this energy, it's like, yes, you want to date them, but also you're worried that they're out there looking for their person. And again, let me be clear. They have every right to do that. They have tried. And it's not that they don't want you. It's not that they don't love you, but it's like they've been trying and they've been running up against a wall, and so they're taking time for themselves. Whether or not they're dating, that's not the point. But right here, it feels like solar is very, very concerned about whether or not they're going to lose their chance, or that they've already moved on, or that they're dating somebody else. Sorry, this is going to be a long reading. I can't, normally at 40 minutes, I would be like, okay, we're wrapping it up. No, this doesn't feel like my guides to keep telling me to pull more cards because the energy is not done saying what it needs to say. We have honeymoon. Honeymoon phase, attending someone's wedding. attending someone's wedding, like, and we had two cards, the engagement card and the engagement ring and the wedding ring cards. I just feel like there's so much daydreaming on solar side, but there isn't action following it up. Like over here, we had the engagement ring, we had the wedding rings pop up. Now we got the honeymoon card pop. Like they are. Let me just outline all the cards. I mean, you all have been here. If you're this far into the reading, you all have seen it. But if you're kind of like skipping through, let me just say, we had the date, like the coffee date card. Then we've got the regular date card. Then we've got engagement ring. Then we've got, wedding rings. Then we got the honeymoon card. This solar energy is like has seen in their mind's eye, in their daydreams or in their actual dreams, have been seeing and feeling and fantasizing about what it's like to build a relationship with their soulmate. It's like, oh my God. All right, hold on. There's just so many cards on top. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm just going to go ahead and say what we had was cycles, fate, karma, something ending, something beginning, guardian, lost loved ones are watching over you, challenges, make a decision, work on inner healing, and then we have narcissist in reverse. Someone too full of themselves. This is someone who doesn't see themselves as worthy. Okay, those are the cards that came through, but I just want one more for this ending thing. Okay. Oh, like for real? Things are getting serious. Collective, I don't know. I don't know how many more cards are going to tell us, going to tell you or describe about your person or tell your person that their ultimate happiness, when someone asks any person, describe what your happiness looks like. Some people will be like, oh, I would be living in the Alps in Sweden, or I would be living in the south of France, or I'd be living, in Brazil. I'd be living in the Caribbean. I would, be a jet setter. I would have my own home. I would have a ranch. I would have a dog or cat rescue. Whatever it is that people outline as their happiness, no matter what it is your person is thinking of as their happiness, you are involved, or vice versa. Whatever you think is as your happiness, however you're building your life, you have your person in mind. There is no part of this person's idea of happiness, their future, what their life looks like as they grow old, that does not have this person in there with them. It's almost like every step that they take, every possible eventuality for their future has you in it. That's how they see it. They feel stuck right now. We saw the cycles card come out. We saw the narcissist card in reverse, which narcissist card is they think too much of themselves. And then in reverse, it's like they don't think enough of themselves. They have a low self-worth. So that's what's keeping them stuck from coming forward and telling you that you are their happy ever after, or they are your happy ever after. I literally don't know how many more cards can come out that talk about dating or making connections over a coffee date, dating, then becoming serious, then engagement, then wedding rings, then honeymoon, and then commitment, and and confession. Like, and I just realized my whole rig is super crooked to me. So hold on just a second. No, wrong way. There we go. Sorry. It's where are we at on time? Oh boy, we're at like 55 minutes. I'm being told to get tarot, so we're doing it. And then we're going to close out the reading because this is intense. I'm going to need to eat something and ground myself because this is really intense energy. Okay, so let's get the confession. From the divine solar energy, what confession is it that they have that they need to bring forward? What energy? Like, we can see it, but like, is there something specific that the solar energy really wants to be able to communicate? Ugh. Okay, that fell out, and I then tried to pick it up, but it's Page of Cups. The confession is, and the Page of Cups specifically, because Page of Cups is an earnest energy. It's early in its journey. This person who's in their head thinking like, why did I do that? How could I have handled it? How could I fumbled it so bad? It feels like they're younger. If you were that person or your person, someone in this connection is the younger one. The one who's feeling this way is the younger one. Page of Cups is both younger in age. Oh my God, another hiccup. What was that? 3? The Page of Cups is younger in age, but it's earnest. They're showing a want, a desire, and daydreaming about how to grow this. As a confession, this is the divine solar with that coffee cup card being like, look, like they may be bubbling inside and wanting to be like professing their love and how devoted they are to you, and like telling you how much they put you on a high platform. But right here, when it comes to the confession, what the confession is going to look like is, I just want us to move forward in a purposeful way, in a positive way. Like if we need to go back to getting to know each other, like, you know, hey, my name is, nice to meet you. Do you think that maybe we could go out for a coffee or a lunch to kind of get to know each other? It's like they're willing to start back at square one to grow this thing in the right way. Not to miss any of those pivotal milestone moments that happen in relationships when they start. From the little baby stages of just meeting to the what we call the king or the emperor stages of like serious commitment for the long haul. Can you give me a card on intuition? Is the Sun. Okay, let me remind you that the intuition card said the red flags you ignore now will come to bite you later. And I said in this setting, they know if they don't do something now, if they don't say what they feel, if they don't act on their confession, that this will come to bite them in the ass later, because maybe then their soulmate will have dated someone else, which they are free to do. If they've been chasing all this time, and this energy, the solar energy, has been scared, unsure, not feeling worthy, and for all intents and purposes, kind of like ducking and dodging it, coming in for a little bit and disappearing again, this person has the freedom to focus on themselves and to date who they will. If they don't come in with this confession of what they really want, what they really desire, and not just what they really want and what they really desire, but also the plans in which they have in order to help themselves grow, how to foster a true and vulnerable union between these two energies. They know if they don't do this, that it'll bite them in the ass, because their person may end up dating someone. But if they do this, we have the Sun energy here. It's like Spirit is trying to tell them, use your gut, trust your inner voice. It's saying to come forward and confess, to divulge, to share. During Mercury retrograde, that energy was so strong. Like this person kept wanting to come forward, and yet they couldn't find the strength, the courage, the right timing, the right words. I'm seeing emails written and erased. I'm seeing text messages written and erased. Intuitively, they know that they're at a pivotal point, that they are reaching a pivotal point. If they don't say something, their person might end up moving on to date someone else. But if they do say something, they may be unlocking a path that they didn't even know was available to them. And it's the happiness that they want. The dating, the engagement rings, the wedding rings, the honeymoon, the commitment. Okay, so let's talk about this energy. Them worrying about them finding someone else and moving on. So okay, we had 2 cards come up. We have the Nine of Cups, which is abundance. And then we have the Star, which is wants, needs, desires, wish fulfillment, healing. This is also the Aquarius card. So they're worried that this person, this soulmate, this Aquarius energy, this wants, needs, desires, healing, dream, wishes realized. This Nine of Cups energy, this abundant, this energy that is self-assured, that has got their stuff pretty much together. They're worried with that kind of energy that they would find somebody else, because they're like, they believe in themselves. They know what they bring to the table. They know that they have a lot to offer. And not only that, but they are gentle. They are kind. They are healing. They're good at recognizing the wants, needs, and desires of others as well as themselves, and respecting boundaries. They are wish fulfillment. They are this person's wish fulfillment. This person sees it as abundant. So of course they're going to stress the hell out that if they don't say something, then they're going to find someone else, because they realize they're not the only one who sees this about their person. Okay, let's get some cards on the move on card. Two of Cups. My goodness. Like, I didn't show you very well. Sorry. The Two of Cups is seeing eye to eye. I'm hearing, I seen you soul to soul, or I see you soul to soul. Soulmate, seen solar energy, soul to soul. Maybe that was one of the main reasons why this energy, the solar energy, like backed off or passed on the opportunity, was because they were seeing them. Oh, there's a song. Hold on. The lyric is, hold on, I'm hearing the song in my head. Let me just wait till it gets to the point where I'm trying to grab that lyric. She sees everything. She knows me too well. Now that's just the lyric from the song, from a Future Islands song. I think that's what the band's called, Future Islands. She sees everything. She knows me too well. You all seen each other soul to soul. The most real, the most raw, the most authentic. And perhaps at that time that scared you. And back then you didn't understand what that meant. Back then you didn't know what energy you were meeting, but now you understand it. Now you understand how profound that energy is. Okay, so let's go to the honeymoon card. Page of Wands. Yes, you want to take, I say you, but it could be your person. This energy wants to take action. Again, it's a page, so it's still young. It's the beginnings. It's like the first realization that they want. You know what? I want to start this journey. I want to take the actions to start this journey. They're beginning their journey. The beginning of their journey does begin with them offering their cup in a confession, to be like, hey, like, I don't expect you to just jump at the chance. I understand that we need to build this. I need to show consistency. You are a dependable and consistent person. I need to return that in kind. I need to show that in kind. Again, I heard that meme from before. I don't know where it's from, but I'm hearing this person is like, in a sense, in their deaf era. I don't hear what you have to say. Show me. Because this person is dependable and consistent. And so that's what they want, is dependability and consistency. Not perfection. Not perfection. Dependability and consistency. You say you're going to be there, be there. You say you love them, then show them. Like, okay, there's a song. It's an old song. My mom had shown it to me a long time ago, but it's a song by a band called Extreme, and the song is called More Than Words. And the whole song is about, like, if you took the words I love you out of, like, the lexicon. If you're showing me that you love me, we don't need those words, because you showed me. It's more important that you show me than tell me. Like, hearing it is beautiful, but if you showed me, you wouldn't always have to tell me, because I would know. I'm gonna have to link those two songs in the description box. So yeah, there's about taking action, and that action is offering the cup, creating a new beginning. Because this new beginning with a confession is the new beginning they want in a serious relationship with you, or you want with them. All right, commitment card. So we're at Knight of Cups and Strength. So we went from Page of Cups to Knight of Cups. Remember how I was saying this is like if emotions had ages, okay? That would be like a 15-year-old person, and the Knight would be in their 20s. This is progression. This person's learning to trust and feel comfortable in their emotions. Not only trust and feel comfortable in their emotions, but learning to trust and feel comfortable using their intuition. The Strength card is not just, I mean, it could be that this solar energy is somebody who is into fitness, you know, someone who enjoys going to the gym, doing yoga, that sort of thing. They're physically fit, yes, but it also is a strength of character, both internally and externally. When I say externally, yes, I do mean the physical body, like they take care of their physical body, but also they show strength. And that strength, like this energy, this solar energy, the strength is likely shown on how they stand up for their friends, how they do their work performance. You know, they stand up stand up against injustices. They're very strong in a lot of respects. And also strength means internally, being strong within yourself and realizing that there's strength in vulnerability. It feels like from this point to over here at the end where there's commitment, the solar energy is going to find strength and is realizing that the more comfortable they are in their emotions, the more that they trust their intuition, the stronger they get internally and the better they think of themselves. But it all kind of starts with being honest and not kind of huddling away feelings, with being honest, because I feel that this person is not a hard-hearted person. They would hold their heart gently with love and kindness. And I said this in another reading, I believe, but hold their heart with love and kindness because they're so thankful and so appreciative and so gentle that you've trusted their heart, your heart, in their hands, and they'll treat it like the most precious jewel ever, because they realize how hard it is for some people to be vulnerable. Okay, we're going to get one oracle to close this out. I want to apologize for this being so long, but at the same time, I don't, because this message really, really, really needed to come through, like in a real way. So I'm going to be using the Manifestation Moonology. And the oracle that I got was Find a Balance, Full Moon in Libra. So we have two energies here. We have the star energy here, which is Aquarius, and then we have full moon in Libra. We have Libra energy. So we have two air signs. And let me, not that anyone needs to really know this, because you probably already do if you're in the tarot sphere. But like when people of the same element get together, that's some of the most profound and strong love, because you all understand each other's wants, needs, and desires in that, like, you know, air sign way or that fire sign way. So the fact that this soulmate union is between two air signs, an Aquarius and a Libra, it makes even more sense that this union is so tight. I would not be surprised if y'all shared the same life path number. I just heard that. I would not be surprised if you all shared the same life path number, or you were born under the same moon phase is what I mean to say. I am getting the inclination that the solar energy is younger, but I do feel like because the moon is so prominent in this card, it makes me feel that you all likely share, you all obviously star, Aquarius and Libra, same sign. So even if you're not air signs, in this reading, you all might be the same element, the same zodiac elements. Makes me feel like you have the same life path number. Makes me feel that you were born under the same moon phase. Okay, that is a lot. That's a lot and that's specific. Let me get the reading for the full moon in Libra, and then we will close it out. Thank you for getting this far and listen to me yap, but this just needed to be said. Honestly, it really, really did. 92. Okay. And this is that, by the way. I tried to do a reading yesterday twice, and my computer, the file was corrupted, and it made me cry, and I felt really like, very emotionally attached to the reading. I felt like I was feeling it really strongly. And since then, I've like cleansed my space, and I've asked for a different reading. And yet here we are with another emotionally charged, emotionally rich reading. Something needed to be said. Full moon in Libra. Focusing on your own wants and needs is understandable. We all need to look after ourselves. However, this card suggests you need to find a balance between what you need versus what someone else needs. Walk a mile in their shoes. Once you understand where they're coming from and why, you can take action. If you've been through a worrying time, including regarding your health, this card reminds you to find the right people for help. Make up your own mind about your situation rather than being influenced by others. I'm not going to pontificate about that. I'm just going to say that is for you. Collective, thank you so much for the honor of reading this reading. Really, this is so incredibly profound that if it resonates with you, I'm sending you all the good energy. From angel to you, I'm sending you all the good energy. I really appreciate you being here, and I really, really appreciate your energy in being here. I appreciate all likes, shares, and subscribes. If you've made it this far, you're a real one. This is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I will see you at the next read.